The Polish Eagle Krzysztof Ratajski has booked a tie with Fallon Sherrock tomorrow night after beating the German giant Gabriel Clemens 6-3 in Amsterdam. Good job from the Polish player. Well, we have seen a fair few missed doubles already tonight, haven't we? 16 from the Victor Ratajski tonight, but Clemens far from at his best. And the German has still never beaten Ratajski. Wasn't quite the drama we saw at Ali Pali, was it, hey? But Krzysztof won't mind, and now we're on to our third game already, which features the World Cup winner, Big John Henderson, who helped guide Scotland to glory back in September, alongside Peter Wright on that occasion. And now he takes on the Dutchman, Mike Kuivenhoven. Here's John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the first round action of the Jacks World Series of Darts Finals. Coming to you live from Amsterdam! So brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our live audience and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Kuivenhoven. And ladies and gentlemen, the Highlander, John Henderson.
We have a changing of the guard in the commentary box for you right now. It's Ned Bolting is alongside Alan Warren a little. Evening, Ned.
Good evening. Good evening, Jackie. Good evening, Amsterdam. Just like easing themselves into the proceedings down there in the cheap seats that they're not using at the moment. What an atmosphere there is in Amsterdam. Looking forward to this one too. The first of 7 Dutch players to cheer on. And Alan, as you were reminding me just a few minutes before we came on air, the last time we were physically present in Amsterdam for this very competition back in 2019, they got behind the Dutch players, didn't they?
Yes, good evening, Ned. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, frog in your throat too.
Yes, and good evening, Amsterdam. Yes, incredible atmosphere. As we remember from a couple of years ago, they really do get behind their players in this arena.
Got a very serious-minded competitor to cheer on in Mike Kuivenhoven, 33 years of age, from Naaldwijk in Westland, right down on the south, to the south of the Netherlands, right on the coast. Very ambitious young man, got himself a tour card a couple of years ago, and got a bit of a reprieve, didn't he, in renewing his tour card this year in unfortunate, tragic circumstances, really, with Kyle Anderson's withdrawal from the tour card. That meant that the door opened again for Mike Kuivenhoven. And of course we know, so sadly, that Kyle Anderson passed away in August. But Kuivenhoven is back, he has his tour card, and this is a major opportunity for him up against Big John today.
It certainly is, for both players as well. They've both had a bit of a resurgence in their careers, as you mentioned, John with the World Cup, and Mike there with the tour card. And to be fair, both players have taken that opportunity by bull by the horns, as we say. John, wonderful character, as we know, starting to play some great darts, and Mike probably playing the darts of his career at this moment in time. Not had that big run on TV or won a Players' Championship yet, but he's certainly getting better at each event.
Well, Big John is going to rock this game into life in his traditional fashion, rocking all over the World Series finals. That's his ambition.
Well, John will know, won't he, from like the Premier League when he goes there as he's looking for a maximum like there. The massive crowd in Aberdeen cheering him on. He's going to have it all against him this evening in the Amsterdam Arena.
Yeah, that was that famous night, wasn't there, against Michael van Gerwen in Aberdeen, where he comes from.
I could hear it in Cumbria. Incredible, it really was.
33 years of age, as I said, Mike Kuivenhoven. Big John nudging towards the 50 mark, isn't he? 48 years of age.
81.
Yes, an international invite. Mike had to come through the qualifiers and played some terrific darts to get through against Daryl Gurney, John Michael, Christobin, Ryan Joyce, the last two in particular, big ton plus averages. So, as I said earlier, he's starting to play some of the best darts of his career. Not got going in this leg or this match so far,
Well, he wouldn't be human unless the nerves were fluttering somewhat. Live in television in the Netherlands.
John's used to the big stage.
Yep.
He's not been on there that much, and especially in front of his home crowd, he's going to be feeling the nerves. John's going to take advantage.
Big 180 from John. If there were any nerves for the man from Huntley, that should have settled them.
Certainly will. Mike, as we said, is playing, honestly, some terrific darts on the Pro Tour.
Just needs to settle himself out. Just a little word with himself there. After that visit, John, though, on tops. Good start. Good start with the darts. Gets the job done. 1-0.
Yes, those last 5 darts, terrific from John Henderson. 180, single 15, and tops. This is better from Mike.
140.
Major TV event winner now, isn't he, John Henderson? The PDC ranks. In the company of Peter Wright, the World Cup back to Scotland, no less.
Yes, an inspired performance from both players, but particularly from John Henderson, who really gave it everything for the shirt.
20.
And lucky there from Mike. I was trying to work out that first dart from John Henderson in the last shot, but single 18. I'm hoping it slipped.
An unusual one, for sure. He's found his range now, Kuivenhoven. You can see everything in the throw is starting to relax into it now, isn't he, a little bit? Those initial butterflies have fluttered away.
Yes, I think it's very important for him to get that first leg on the board. We say this all the time, but it really does mean so much for him to be playing in front of his home crowd. Has relatively short experience, really, on the big stage.
Done with a treble there. Still, big lead. John back on 220.
We're looking for at least a ton here, which will give him an outside chance if Mike...
81.
This is a 78, but he won't be happy with that last one.
Yeah. Big difference, isn't there? Just the wrong side of the wire leaves him stranded on 139. It's possible, but there's an opportunity here.
Also for your opponent as well, because if you'd have left something handy, you know that your opponent's on your shirt tail. Good finish there from Mike.
The leg is John to throw first.
Yeah, hats off to him. Building a career, he is through a pandemic, has not been easy for Kuivenhoven. After his exits quite early on in the World Championships, he was stranded in London, couldn't get out because of the COVID situation. Not easy, very determined, giving up his job. That part of Holland that I was talking about, the Netherlands that he comes from, is where we buy a lot of our fruit and veg in these islands, and he was partly responsible picking tomatoes in one of the biggest facilities there, greenhouse facilities in the world. Doesn't do that any longer. He's a professional darts player with a tour card.
58.
Yes, and that's after that reprieve you mentioned earlier, Ned. You know, he has taken the bull by the horns, and you know, hopefully can kickstart him into better things, certainly on the big stage. Crowd in full voice.
Just relentless, isn't it? They have not let up in Amsterdam.
I like the little look there from John Henderson, saying, not as big as Amsterdam, but you're doing all right.
78.
Aberdeen to Amsterdam. Yeah, who would have begrudged him his big win there in the colours of Scotland, the World Cup win. One of the most popular players on the circuit, John Henderson, and what a loyal campaigner he's been over so many years. Hitting the big time this year, not so long ago, it was only the beginning of September, that success.
81. 142.
So 1-4-2 for Big John, with the darts, with the throw. Kuivenhoven not on a finish.
85.
Nod of the head there from John, but very important last start there in the treble. He's a big two-darter.
Didn't quite go where he wanted that one. Yeah, a little bit scrappy there from Kuivenhoven.
And you require 57.
Tops, worked from last time. Adjusts. Close. Now chance against the darts. 130 to take out for the Dutchman. And they will go mad if this goes.
Yeah, certainly will. Slow burner so far for him, despite getting that leg on the board, but just couldn't really attempt to hit that treble there. Quite a long way off with the first one.
20.
Two left in hand.
Well, there, William Tell.
10.
Oh, well.
IQ require 80.
Well, how big a miss was that? Can the Dutchman take advantage? 20 tops. Now, can he see that? Just has to step to one side. Recalibrates. Takes it out. Yeah, that meant a lot. And a rueful look from John Henderson. Against the darts, Kuivenhoven now with a chance on his throw to make it 3-1.
Did really well there, you've got to say. Hit the double top when he got the first leg previously, but just took his time there, and the crowd was getting involved, managed to keep his focus and concentration, found the angle, 2-1 ahead.
60.
Well, his normal walk-on music, Mike Kuivenhoven, is to money for nothing. And I tell you what, there is a lot of money in professional darts, but it's not for nothing, is it, Alan? You have to earn your call in this game.
Absolutely. You certainly do, Ned. These two, as we mentioned, you know, the careers were on that downward spiral, and both had, for different reasons, a resurgence of their careers, and they've got to take it. They know what it's like falling down that ladder. They want to start walking back up it.
Does a lot of walking these days, John Henderson. Twice a week with his mum. Goes shopping up to Tesco's and carries her shopping back. His mum Margaret. Lives just up the road from her in Huntley. And the big prize money that he won in that final in Vienna when they beat Austria 3-1. That's not changed in one bit. Took home 35 grand, mind. That's his share of the pot.
Well, it certainly was, and probably one of the biggest wins for quite some time, it has to be said. Not just the prize money, but obviously the prestige of winning the event. Very popular in Scotland, as we know.
Biggest win ever, wouldn't you say, Alan? Arguably.
45.
Yeah, probably is, yes. Wouldn't win that every year, would he? No.
430 now.
Well, John fighting back well here. Good opportunity to level two apiece. Against the darts, this one.
First sighting of Santa Claus as well. And the crowd in Amsterdam come early, gets earlier and earlier.
22.
There was a chance for Big John.
82.
Kuivenhoven could really take a very strong grip on this game if he sees this one out now. 82.
Well, that's okay. Another single 16.
Bullseye. Leave this one to you, Alan, if it goes in.
Well, he's hit the last two double tops, and he's hit the ball!
Well, that was a hammer blow, wasn't it? A really big moment you feel in this game, potentially. John's got to stay in the game now, Henderson. Doesn't want to go into this break 4-1 down. That might be irretrievable.
Yes, he challenged the throw, didn't he, to get back to 2-2. That one down to the double. But really, you have to say, Mike, that first leg was all over the place on the scoring. But since then, has been pretty steady on the scoring, but has hit the double on the first attempt in the second, third and fourth leg.
Now, the averages are not stellar at the moment, both players in the mid-80s. John Henderson's been averaging just a few points more than Kuivenhoven, but not that much in it.
He's starting to make his move. Like, showing the quality he has done for the last few months on the Pro Tour and in the qualifying for this event last Monday.
97.
Goes back up again. To good effect. Very good effect. Scoring heavily now, Kuivenhoven. And almost nicking the darts from John Henderson on his throw.
Well, we said about him settling, didn't we, early on in that first leg, which he didn't do. But since then, he certainly has. And he's playing some terrific stuff now.
Oof.
84.
His rhythm's picked up, he's throwing faster.
Well, Hendo took some terrific shots out in the World Cup. You need another one now, son.
Bullseye. Oh, that was close. That was close. But Mike Kuivenhoven comes back. And he's looking at tops to take a 4-1 lead. And he takes it. No mistake from the Dutchman. 4-1. He might just feel, going into the break, that he's got more than a foot in the second round. At the moment, it's Henderson who's rocking and Kuivenhoven who is cruising. John Henderson with it all to do here in Amsterdam. 4-1 down against the first of 7 Dutch players to take to the hockey in this competition. Mike Kuivenhoven. Alan, perfect on the doubles.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the averages aren't too much to write home about, just pretty steady really from both players, but more impressive, as you mentioned there. 100% on doubles from Kuivenhoven, 3 darts at tops and hit, and 1 at the ball.
And 2 legs away from victory, potentially as a result, unless John Henderson can disrupt his game, get his own working, and come back at him with a big swing back in his favour. Very capable of doing it, John Henderson, all that experience. He'll need it all now if he's going to prevent defeat here in the first round in Amsterdam.
Yes, that 1 dart at the ball was such a big dart in the leg just before that break. 3-2, 4-1 is such a big difference, as we know. He knows the job at hand, he's just got to get stuck in.
Oh, 121.
His last dart. Good adjustment.
100.
Yes, nice and solid now. Scoring from Mike, and he looks like he's enjoying it up there. So obviously it makes a difference when you fall on ahead
81.
to being behind. just a little bit.
Yeah, he looks so relaxed compared to a slightly worried figure who made his way to the stage and lost the first leg. John Henderson's only leg.
Well, if Mike does make it through here, he'll have that tasty encounter against a certain Michael van Gerwen. That'll certainly get the crowd going.
Well, that'll be fantastic. But I have to say, Mike Kuivenhoven has a 100% record against Michael van Gerwen. He has never lost to Michael van Gerwen.
Correct.
They've played twice. Well, there you go. There you go, Mike Kuivenhoven. The longer it goes on, the better he gets, seemingly. And now he will start thinking about tomorrow and the potential encounter with Michael van Gerwen. He's 5-1 up and just 1 leg away from victory here. And John Henderson is going to have to do something mighty like Lazarus if he's going to come back from the dead in this one.
Yes, he's going to have to produce his best. And again,
38.
Kuivenhoven, 5 out of 5 on the doubles. He's not missing.
Well, up next we've got James Wade and Mervyn King, which is amazing really when you think about it. You could have rewound about 12, 13 years and you could have said, up next it's James Wade and Mervyn King. 2 of the great warriors of the scene, still going strong and still arguably, in certainly Mervyn King's case, throwing as well as he's almost ever done in his long career.
Yeah, difficult one to call that one. We'll have to wait and see. This one's looking good for the Dutchman.
It's almost too easy for him at the moment, so the crowd are at almost their most subdued so far on Friday night in Amsterdam. Almost working on the assumption that their countryman is going to stroll into an all-Dutch encounter with Michael van Gerwen tomorrow.
45.
Yes, dejection there from John, as you can see, apart from the 5-1 scoreline, which is obviously because of Mike's wonderful finishing in the match so far, but John really hasn't had that many opportunities, has he? And if he has, it's been the odd darts.
44.
He did have 3 darts in the third leg, but maybe kicking himself from that position there. Just needs to get that filled in and move on to the next leg.
That's better. That's better. Sorry, Alan. You just need to steady the ship, get back in the game, mate.
Yes, when you get these short distance matches, which these are, despite being 5-1 behind, it can change really, really quickly. It's got to just take one leg at a time, win this one, move on to the next one. He's just looking at the score to see what Mike's left. He's just trying to keep some focus and concentration to take this one.
Yep.
That's better.
5-2 looks an awful lot better than 5-1, doesn't it? But Kuivenhoven serving for the match now.
Yes, Big John's got to get really stuck into this leg, because he's got to really put Mike on the back foot, where he, since that second and third leg, he's been way ahead.
You almost sense that Kuivenhoven and Henderson, to a certain extent, in that last leg, just mentally clocked off a little bit, as if the match was done. But what Henderson has done in just getting himself back into the game, I think probably has woken Kuivenhoven up a little bit. Although that's 3 loose darts, and Henderson has no choice but to capitalise. He simply must score heavily now. Needs another one.
Yeah, good second one.
Yeah.
Well, he needed that one, as you mentioned, Ned. 43 start of the leg. Now at least he's back in this leg. Got to keep pressurising your opponent, because it's a big night for him as well, being on that big stage in front of his home crowd.
6 darts without finding a treble now from the Dutchman. The next 2 have to go. One more. Yes. So he is applying the pressure.
Yes, he's got to be looking at finishing that 184 in a couple of visits if he can.
Lord Hunt.
146 for Kuivenhoven. Henderson on 184.
Well, good response from Henderson. 43 with the first 3 darts in this leg. Since then, scored pretty well. But this can go! This can go!
It's gone! 146! Take that! What a way to get the job done! Amsterdam erupts! And the first of their 7 favoured sons is through and will face mighty Michael van Gerwen in the next round. And on the evidence of what we've seen here tonight, they might just have another Dutch superstar to celebrate. Mike Kuivenhoven destroys John Henderson and strolls into round 2.